Hello and welcome to the new CD called Mechanica, Mechanisms, Metals and Machines. And as the title suggests, this is really a CD aimed at the men, but you'll be pleased to know the ladies out there are also catered for as well. And I'd like to think it's possibly a CD for everybody. But what I've gone for on this is really a two-part type of CD. And let me explain a little bit further. First of all, it's very much a resource CD. And on here, you're going to find lots and lots of wonderful things, all really based around machines and mechanisms, which I think will make a fantastic starting point for cards for men and boys. But there's also, as I said, something for the ladies in there as well. So perhaps the best thing to do is have a look through and I'll show you how it works. Now, we've also got an exciting new feature which we've introduced in From Words All Occasions CD, where we've got the interactive topper creator, which is like a mini graphics package. Now, if any of you are thinking, oh, I'm not sure if that's for me, there's a full CD on here to show you how to work it, and that's very simple. But you can use this CD in a traditional manner if you want to as well. It's not all about making it into a super duper graphics package. It's a traditional CD that has this lovely feature as well. So let's start off by just running you through what you're going to find on it. And I'll begin here with the backing papers. And again, what you'll find is that we've got two sets, one in the full colour and one in a tint as well. Now, you've got 80 backing papers on here, and they cover a whole variety of materials. They're absolutely lovely. Now, this is a subject dear to my heart, and I'd like to think I've covered something that's really for all occasions here for you. So as we can see, what we've got is a range of sheets here that you could use as the backing paper for your card. Now, this would work as A5 landscape or portrait, or you could just use sections of it as well. And that's what's nice about these papers. You'll be able to sort of dive in and use sections of them. Now, they're all about sort of machines and metals. There's some lovely metallic ones, slightly different ones that you're going to find on the CD. But I think underpinning all of that is the fact that it's there with a sort of more masculine feel to it. And that probably goes for the majority of them. And you can see it's almost making the cards for you here. Just print that out and pop your images on. So it's, as I said, really very much a resource-based CD. And I'm just flicking through the papers quite quickly here to give you an idea of what you're going to find. And each section has something slightly different, so that they'll have a slightly different bias. Here that's sort of a little bit grubbier. We've got a sort of a bit more of a used look to the metals, distressed. And that's the other thing which comes up with this CD. There's a lovely sort of distressed feel to it. It's harping back to the Victorian age, so there's very much a Victoriana feel to it, and we'll see that a little bit later on as well. Along with a sort of steampunk element as well. And it really does enable you, I think, to make what you want to out of it. But there's some great things here, really are mechanical papers to have a look at and see. And here we've got, again, some favourite of mine, quite weathered materials, like lovely rusty metal, rusted paintwork. That we can use there. And so, as I said, there's a whole range of different papers to try out and have a look at and see. I'm going off to the also to show you that for each of them we also have a paper that's tinted. So if I can come back to this one just to show you, that's how it would look in the tinted variety. If I'll just come back to the main ones here and show you again in a full colour. So a little bit of everything for everyone there, and 80 papers to choose from. I'm pretty sure you're going to find some lovely things in there to work with. So it's a great resource CD which I think you can come back to again and again in its own right. It doesn't necessarily have to be all about machines and men. So those are our 80 backing papers there, and as I said, they also come in a tinted variety for you as well, which I think is great for matte and layering, and that's, you know, a way that I personally like to work, and that's why I've popped them in there for you. Whoops, going back a bit far. So those are our backing papers. Oh, incidentally, nearly forgot to tell you. If I click onto, it's just any backing paper here. These are also text editable, that you will be able to drop text into the lighter papers here as well. That there's 2 text editable boxes for you to copy and type into. So that's on there as well for you. So they'll act as backing papers that you can type and text a greetings message into. Now those panels might or might not show up on yours, but they're there. If they show up as 2 blue panels, I've told mine not to show those, so we can see the papers. It doesn't print, by the way. It won't show up. Okay, and if we come on to the toppers here as well, we can see that we've got some lovely papers here as well. Now these are intended to go onto the top of the cards, and what I've done is put them into the format here. I've gone for square, but you can make rectangular cards with them. You can always chop them down to shape. There's lots of what I call wiggle room in it, just to chop it, or you can put 2 images up from different ones, or even 3 small ones to create a rectangular card if you want to as well. I just think it gives you a lot of variety this way. So again, you've got 30 of these lovely sort of toppers, and it's about matte and layering, putting things up onto the paper and working our way up. And you can see some of them here are just a gift, aren't they, to work with. I very much see this as a CD that you can use with all of your crafting ancillaries, and I know that dies are very popular. I have my own range as well, and I've also got a cog set which I think will go perfectly with this as well. But it's a great way of just working with your cards and just building up and using all the ancillaries that you've collected as well. So again, 30 of these lovely toppers, and of different sort of varieties and styles, and I said in different sizes. I plan it roughly as an A5, A6 and A7 card. But as you can see, a really nice different range of styles, and to complement that, we also have them in the lighter colours as well. So we've got those there for you. Okay, and again, matte and layering can all be done with that as well. Now we've also got, moving on, our text editable panels, and these are rather lovely because again you can work with these and build them up on the cards. If I click on, we can see the blue boxes here. I've done that so I can show you now how the blue boxes look, and you can click in, type your greetings message, and then Control and the letter E key on your keyboard for the PC users, or the Apple Mac and logo and E for the Apple Mac people, will bring you up a dialog box. I'm going to go Control E, and you can see here it now gives me the opportunity of changing the typeface, the color of the type, and the style as well, along with the size and the format of it. So that's worth noting. You will need Adobe Reader 8 and above, but Adobe Reader 9 is recommended for this particular CD, because we've got the movies as well showing you how to work with the graphics package. Okay, as I said, all of this can be used traditionally, as you can see here. Lots of lovely panels for you to work with, and I've done them in both landscape and portrait for you as well. So we can see here that we have a whole range of different styles for you to work with. Again, this just gives you the opportunity of just working in the way that you would like to, in a traditional way, with the CD-ROM. Now I've also added to the CD some fold templates here as well, and these will work beautifully. You can use the backing papers with these and then create some fantastic cards. Now I've also got on here another section here, and I'm going to click onto it. It's called the Topper Creator, and you'll get possibly a security message. I'm just going to go say allow, because what it's doing is taking me out of the main document and into the new one. I'll just line this up, and it's going to come into a new page underneath the one I've got there. So I'm just going to move this into the camera shot for you there, and I've just shrunk down my other one just so we can see now the page here. Now what we've got are some lovely images for you to work with. You can see here, I'm going to quickly run through it then come back in a little bit more detail. So we can work, as I said, with a range of different images that we can now use to create our cards with. And they're based on, here we've got sort of Victoriana, so something again for the men, boys and the girls. And we've also got the toppers here again. These are all text, these will be text editable, and you can change the size. And I've also got again the toppers. Now they are different, and let me come right the way back to the start and take a little bit more time on this. There's a whole CD telling you how to there's a whole video telling you how to use it, but I just want to show you more in this one as the walkthrough tour of all the lovely things you can expect to find on it. So what we get really are mechanical parts, and we can use these to copy and paste and create our own toppers with. And if you click onto one, you see you get a little line around it, and you simply go edit, copy, or Control C, and click up to the graphics program here. We highlight the text box, and that just lets it know that it's ready to receive a bit of graphics. Control V, and up comes an image here. And this image can be, although they're small on the page, they can be adjusted in size. You can rotate them if you want to, and right hand click onto properties, and if I just move this box out of the way, we can change the opacity of it as well, so it can become lighter. And then just click return, and I'm going to come back to the main box here. Now you can, if you want to, put the little controller onto your CD, and it depends, and I'll show you what I mean by this. We've got along the top a range of commands in Adobe Reader. This is Adobe Reader 11 that I've got here, and you've got the toolbox down the side, but what we're going to look for is the way that we can actually view and see the pages. So it's going to be tucked away somewhere, and what we're looking for is the navigation pane that you can actually go back with the little blue squares and return. And I'll have another little video and it'll show you about how to do that on the website. So let's just get rid of the annotations at the side there, and we'll just come back. Let me just get rid of that for you. Click off to there and go back to return here. So what we've got is all these lovely images. You can see gears, we've got watches, old typewriters, phones, bits of kettle, steam engine, hooks. What you're going to do is just build up and create your own lovely pictures if you want to with them. Or if we just click onto a sheet, you can print this out, and it will just allow you to cut and paste these images if you want to. But the beauty of really using it with a graphics package, and this is a graphics topper, and it's not a full-on graphics package, and I don't want you to worry about it. It's simple. It's a very simple cut and paste. Even if it's to the point that you say you like this clock, we can click onto it, go Control C, or if you want to, edit, copy, click onto the graphics logo there, click onto an image with a blue box around it, and then go Control V or edit paste, and up this comes, and we can now change the size of it. So if you wanted to just print that out or a few different elements for the size that you wanted, you could do that. We could go to print, and we'd go to current page, and we'd just see the elements that we've printed here. So it's a great way if you wanted to work with it. Now I'm going to go Control X. Now all of this, and paste it. Got to make sure something's highlighted, and I can pop this over my clock like that. So you could matte and layer it, and that's what it's for. Again, I've done a video on it, so I'm not going to cover it too far here, but I just wanted to not so much tease you, but show you what you can do with it, because it's lovely, and I really want you to enjoy working with this CD. Now again, we've got all these images here. These are all what we call PNG, Portable Network Graphics, and that just means they've got a transparent background. So when we place them over something, you don't get a big white square around it. And again, we can copy and paste it and pop it into our graphics package. So you can see all these lovely elements you could work up to for the cards. We've got bicycles, we've got steam engines, we've got old cars, old bits of ephemera in there as well. So I said lots of bits and pieces sort of being covered here. Say if you've got someone on a transport here who loves their trains, or we've got an old plane, bicycles, boats. Lots of lovely things you can play around with along with the parts. And then some gentlemen's ancillaries, hats, tennis rackets, cameras, watches, bits and pieces as well, just to build up a card if you want to. And we've also got something for the ladies as well, because you could, if you wanted to, make quite a nice sort of ladies card with this. There's sort of a sort of feel to the Victoriana through to Art Deco. But these are just a collection of images which I've popped together for you. So we can see how that now works there. And although we've got these as papers, these are actually panels as well. So again, if I can just show you how this would work, let's just say I click onto that one. I can go to probably edit copy, click onto the graphics, make sure something's highlighted, and go edit paste or Control V, and up comes this. And again, I can now just change the size and the scale of it. And I can, if I want to, spin it round, and if I hold my shift key before I start spinning, this is going to put it at 90 degrees, I can get it to actually go upright. The computer itself will do that for me. But I'm just going to very quickly, as I said, just show you a little bit about what we can get. Just pop that to there. Now I'm going to, actually no, I'm just going to pull off this image. Now it mats and layers, and again, as I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can see that was the last layer. So this one disappears on it. I'm going to go Control X and Control V. Make sure something's highlighted, and that will just bring that up into a layer. So think of it like a sandwich. And of course now I could reduce that down in size and make that fit and bring some other images in. But equally, if I move that to one side, I can click onto this and come back to here. I could put some text in it, because this text box, you can't rotate the text box here, but what you can do is change the size of it, and also the color as well. Again, that's all covered in the video. But I hope what this is showing you is the exciting opportunities that the CD affords to you. Go back to return here. And last but not least, I've done it with the toppers as well. So all of the toppers could be used. If I click onto that one, again, edit and paste, or Control V. That little sign there means it's a keyboard shortcut. And what I've done, I've taped. You can see now. I'll put my. I'm going to go Control Z. I want to go there. Edit, copy, not paste. Control C. I just clicked on and I pasted my text in there. Back into here. Make sure something's highlighted. That's just the blue box that tells it to come in. Now, these look tiny, but they are actually quite big, and they're designed. I've just made them small to fit onto the page, and they'll blow up to a really lovely size and keep all this beautiful detail in. And again, we could see now how we could pick up our text box and pop that in there as well. So we've got the opportunity here of doing some very simple graphics, but making lovely toppers, and that's the idea. You've got a lovely CD here. You can create some fantastic toppers to use on your cards as well. And all of this is covered in a lot more detail. It's very, very simple, and I'll go through and show you. I mean, this is an idea. You've had a good taster actually on how it all works. But don't worry, and you can't go wrong. And you can just, as I said, build up this lovely sort of imagery here. So this gives us our additional elements to work with the CD. And I said there are some really lovely things in here to work with for you. And you can make cards for all sorts of people. Now, when you're done with this section, the only thing is it doesn't, because of the way that this is produced, you can't flip back, as it were, with a button to get back to the main one that you were on. However, and this is a big plus, although this file's a little bit large, it's large, about 10 megabytes. Once you go to the graphics page, if you create something that you absolutely love, you can now save this, where you couldn't before. You can actually save this page. But because of the way that I've done this to make it work on even your older computers, it will save all of this as a little file. So instead of just this page, you'll get all the graphics images as well. I think that's great because you can come back and work on it and change it if you want to, but you can now save it all as a complete separate file. You'll simply go File, Save As, and give it a folder. So again, I think that's a really lovely little extra that we can now do with the CD. So forgive me, this is moved a little bit, the box. So I'm just going to come over here and show you. What I'm going to do is just close this one down. Or if I wanted to, I could just pop it down to there like so. And if I come up, I'm just going to bring up my main menu by going down to the bottom of the computer and just bringing it up. Or it could have been just sitting underneath. Without confusing me, let me just show you. I've clicked onto that page. If I click onto this one, it'll just reduce it down. And my original CD will come up above, and I can come back and work on this one in a traditional way as well. So I said lots and lots of lovely things on this CD. It's an unusual one because it is a resource CD, but you can also make beautiful cards, but I haven't pre-designed them as such. Although that said, you could use some of the beautiful backing papers, and if I go to the toppers here, you could also just then put those on, and it's really up to how you want to use it. But because we've got these as a graphic element, let's just say take this one, we could take the little pictures and put 4 little pictures into the graphics package. Now you can't do that with this because this isn't, I'm not in the graphics package, I'm on the ordinary CD. But if you did want to, all you have to do is come back, go to the main menu, click onto here, and let's go down to the lovely headers here, click onto that, and up will come our image, and we can use that. As you can see, you can just click and paste with any one of these. Let's just say click onto that one, and then go edit and paste as well. Now, this is designed, it's kind of not really supposed to be a graphics package, but if you find things are flashing a little bit or going funny, don't worry. It's usually sometimes that you've got more than one thing open, but I've designed it so it should be absolutely fine for you. I've tested it on an old computer running Vista and very slow specifications, and it works beautifully. So you shouldn't really have any technical issues. And I said we can just copy and paste, go back to graphics. This has remembered everything I've got here till I close it down, make sure something's highlighted, and you could copy and paste into it if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm just going to close that one down there, and just summing up, a lovely CD, lots and lots on of it. Think of it as a resource CD, but with lots of opportunities to make some fantastic cards. It's very much aimed at the men, but there is something there for the ladies. And of course, you can work with the backing papers. You could use the stretch card templates, the popping box. You could now create your own elements to work within all of those as well. And of course, you can use all your dies with it as well. You can add the extra bits onto it. Great for embellishing as well. Now, I hope you enjoy the CD. I know it's something which is close to my heart. It is, as I said, really aimed at cards for the men, and slightly different. It's not beer, chips and poker and football. It is a little bit different, but I think it kind of rings the change for us out there. And there's nothing to stop you mixing and matching and merging. You could use florals with it. It really is a great basis to start for your card making. Anyway, I hope this gives you a taste of what you're going to find on the CD, and that you will enjoy using it in your crafting. Take care. Bye-bye.